in the hell is it more newsworthy to report that this man got into an argument with a fucking short order cook, and less important to speak about the fact that he graduated with honors on the A&B honor roll at 17, not even 18 yet? Why is this? I don't understand what world we're living in. Well, this is what we rather promote.
T.I. has officially snapped after Charleston White took direct shots at his son, King Harris, during a recent live stream. Known for his outrageous commentary, White crossed a line when he began mocking King's upbringing, questioning T.I.'s parenting, and claiming the young Harris was nothing more than a spoiled crash dummy trying to act tough. Within hours, T.I. responded with a fiery Instagram video defending his family and calling White out in no uncertain terms. "I don't play about mine," Tip said. "You speak on my children, you're gonna have to see me, publicly or otherwise." He added, "This ain't comedy, this ain't content. You disrespecting my son, and that's where the games stop."
I spare no expense on your ass, boy, about mine. Give a about no police. Do all my time. I got family. I got motherfuckers who willing to risk their lives and freedom to about me and mine. You hear me? Don't play with my motherfucking child, ever.
T.I.'s comments were sharp and personal, accusing Charleston of clout chasing and using children for internet views. The rapper also made it clear that while he's been patient with critics in the past, there's a line, and White crossed it. Fans and celebrities alike quickly flooded the comments, many siding with T.I. and slamming Charleston White for involving minors in his rants. Charleston has yet to respond directly, but based on his history, another explosive video may be on the way. One thing's certain, T.I. is done being silent, and this feud just turned deeply personal. Since the recent arrest of T.I.'s son, King Harris, social media has been buzzing with heated commentary and viral reactions. Not surprisingly, one of the loudest voices to weigh in was Charleston White, known for targeting individuals in the spotlight when their actions stir controversy or public backlash. King's behavior leading up to the incident had already raised eyebrows. From erratic online appearances to public altercations, his actions became a focal point for internet discussion. The moment his arrest surfaced, Charleston White took direct aim, criticizing the young man's choices and igniting a wave of online chatter. That criticism didn't go unanswered. T.I. stepped in, publicly defending his son and directly calling out Charleston White, setting off a back and forth that quickly spiraled. Their confrontation included everything from harsh words to alleged threats, all of which flooded timelines across platforms.
First, he told him,
"Need to do that T.I. little yellow motherfucker, long hair freak. That little motherfucker don't know how to fight either. Get them, y'all babies is rapper babies. Go drop him off over his cousin in them house."
The spark behind this entire saga? King Harris's unexplained run-in with law enforcement. While official details remain scarce, it's clear his increasingly volatile behavior may have played a major role. As tensions mount and reputations hang in the balance, this story shows no sign of cooling off. Some people believe that even a short stint in jail might serve as a wake-up call, teaching discipline or instilling a newfound sense of responsibility. But in this case, that idea didn't hold up. King Harris appeared almost proud of the experience, treating it as some sort of rite of passage. Following his release, King didn't shy away from the spotlight. Instead, he posted multiple images, including his own mugshot, and even shared footage online, presenting the incident like a badge of honor. Many viewers across social media responded with disbelief, confusion, and in some cases, outright mockery. Comments poured in across platforms, with users suggesting he was trying too hard to emulate a certain image. One user wrote, "He's really proud he went to jail," while another noted, "He wants to be a gangster so badly."
Man, we was about to whoop your ass when you come back down here from telling. I can see you had a soft upbringing. It got so tough, started yelling, you know. Boy, the red and blue lights, man. Save a nigga life, huh?
The general sentiment was that King seemed determined to prove toughness, but no one could pinpoint exactly why. Much of the speculation centered around comparisons to his father's earlier years, how a legacy of street credibility and resilience might be influencing the younger Harris's mindset. To some observers, it appeared that King might feel pressure to live up to that legacy, even if it meant courting controversy. T.I., in response to the growing concern, did not remain silent. He stepped forward to publicly acknowledge the situation and offered commentary on his son's recent behavior and ongoing challenges with the law. His tone suggested both frustration and a desire to see change. King was on Instagram Live while he held a conversation with one of the employees of the Place Inn. It's pretty hard to watch. The problem that King had with one of the staffers was that his meal included pickles, and he didn't want any pickles because of this disappointment in the poor service he was receiving. ChatGPT said,
The red and blue lights, man. Save a nigga life, huh?
I shoot him right in his goddamn throat.
Here's the rewritten version of the chapter with 50 additional words added, formatted for voiceover delivery, and with all personal references removed. I took to Instagram to share his thoughts on his son's recent behavior and whether or not he planned to intervene. The post addressed the growing concerns surrounding King's actions and shed light on how the family views accountability at this stage in his development. In the video, T.I. emphasized that King is now old enough to begin making his own decisions and, more importantly, to face the consequences of those choices. He acknowledged that learning through failure is often a necessary part of maturity, even if it involves making some painful mistakes along the way. He added that faith plays a significant role in how he's handling the situation. T.I. said he trusts a higher power to guide his son and hopes that in time, King will understand the value of humility, respect, and discipline. But just as the dust was starting to settle, another incident unfolded that reignited public criticism. Shortly after the statement, King found himself in the spotlight again, this time for a disruptive moment in a restaurant. While live streaming from a Waffle House in Atlanta, he clashed with one of the employees in a conversation that quickly went viral for all the wrong reasons. The issue? His food had been served with pickles, which he hadn't requested.
And play with my motherfucking child, ever.
Rather than handling the situation privately or with patience, King voiced his frustration loudly during the live stream. His tone and demeanor were widely criticized as disrespectful and unnecessarily hostile for such a minor inconvenience. The exchange not only reflected poorly on King, but also reignited questions about his attitude and the larger issue of entitlement among young celebrities navigating fame and public scrutiny. King made the situation worse by arguing with restaurant staff while live streaming the entire exchange. As tensions rose, one of the employees asked him to stop using foul language, reminding him that respectful behavior was expected in a public space. But instead of de-escalating, King doubled down. He responded dismissively and, to further complicate matters, made a bold and disrespectful claim, saying he had more money in his pocket than the employee could ever make. This comment struck many as arrogant and unnecessary, especially given the context of a simple dispute over food preferences. As he exited the restaurant, the situation escalated again when he threatened to pistol whip one of the workers. That threat was caught on video and quickly went viral, sparking widespread backlash across social media platforms. Viewers were shocked not just by the threat, but by the overall attitude and behavior that led up to it. The public began to ask pressing questions. Chief among them, where was the accountability? Many turned to T.I., asking why there hadn't been more guidance or public discipline for King's growing list of controversies. Was this behavior being condoned, or was it simply being ignored? In response, T.I. again explained that his son was at an age where he must take responsibility for his own actions. He said the two had already discussed the incident and that King alone was to blame. Attempting to reframe the narrative, T.I. highlighted that King had recently graduated with honors. He suggested that this academic achievement should also be part of the conversation, rather than focusing solely on a heated argument at a restaurant. Still, for many, that didn't excuse the behavior or the threatening language captured on video. The debate around responsibility and maturity only deepened from there. What King highlighted in that moment was Charleston White's repeated pattern of behavior, calling law enforcement anytime tensions rose or situations hinted at confrontation. Whether real or perceived danger, Charleston didn't hesitate to involve authorities, earning a reputation for being quick to contact the police at the first sign of conflict.
I can talk how the f I want to wherever I'm at. I'm on live, shawty. Stop talking to me. Stop talking to me. This ain't your f***ing restaurant.
This pattern didn't sit well with King, who saw it as hypocritical, especially given Charleston's outspoken commentary on street culture and personal responsibility. Calling him out publicly, King didn't hold back in exposing what he considered to be inconsistent and cowardly behavior. But Charleston White didn't stay silent. He swiftly responded, making a bold statement in return. He warned that if T.I. refused to instill discipline in his son, then he hoped never to cross paths with him, delivering the kind of threat that demanded attention. His words weren't subtle and added more fuel to an already intense situation. Unlike previous instances where T.I. appeared more restrained in addressing these controversies, this time he didn't remain passive. Realizing the gravity of Charleston White's comments, T.I. made it clear he would not tolerate threats directed toward his family. T.I. addressed Charleston directly, stating that if there was any issue to be handled, it should be taken up with him, not his son. He firmly drew the line, rejecting any form of intimidation aimed at younger family members. In his response, T.I. described Charleston White as a parasite, someone who thrives off conflict and controversy, targeting others to gain relevance.
He said,
I know my son. Think I ain't spoke to my son? Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmamas? His ass going to prison. If you goddamn keep this shit up, his ass going to prison. Ain't no way around it. Ain't nothing I'm gonna be able to do about it.
According to T.I., Charleston doesn't seek solutions, only headlines. His method, T.I. argued, involves tearing others down and waiting for reactions, feeding off the chaos that ensues. It was clear the exchange had taken a more personal and confrontational turn, with both parties standing their ground and the spotlight growing hotter by the day. As the feud between Charleston White and T.I. intensified, the public response began pouring in. Social media platforms lit up with commentary. Some users sided with Charleston, applauding his unfiltered approach, while others defended T.I., arguing that a father has every right to protect his family from public threats. But beyond the digital noise, a deeper concern emerged. King's behavior was becoming harder to ignore. With multiple incidents under his belt and a growing reputation for arrogance and recklessness, public opinion began to shift. What started as youthful missteps were now being seen as patterns of entitlement. Fans, critics, and cultural commentators alike started asking, where is the accountability? Videos of King's altercations, rants, and confrontations were being shared, dissected, and criticized. The question wasn't just about who was right in this feud, it became about how young public figures are shaped and what role influence and parenting play in their rise or downfall. The court of public opinion was in full session. Meanwhile, T.Y.'s defense of his son began to show cracks. Many felt he was enabling behavior rather than correcting it. Others argued that the generational divide between father and son was too wide to bridge without serious introspection. In an age where every misstep becomes content, King's reputation was being tested in real time. The divide between who King was trying to be and how he was perceived grew larger by the day. As the backlash escalated, so did the pressure, not just on him, but on those standing behind him. This wasn't just a family issue anymore. It had become a national conversation about fame, accountability, and the consequences of ignoring warning signs. At the end of the day, once Charleston White sparks controversy, the mission is complete. He's got the attention, and the media storm fuels his brand. Whether it's targeting T.I., King, or anyone else, it's all about visibility, shock value, and keeping his name trending. That's the real currency. According to T.I., there's no comparison. In his view, Charleston White hasn't built anything substantial, only a reputation for stirring drama, and that's why, as T.I. sees it, Charleston needs to tread lightly. These aren't the kind of games you play without consequences, especially when threats start getting thrown around in public. T.I. doesn't believe Charleston deserves a platform next to someone who's put in decades of work and accomplishments. But will anything come from these exchanges? Is this escalating feud heading towards something bigger? Or will it all die out as just another internet storm filled with hollow threats and tough talk? That's the question now echoing across social media. Will this remain digital noise or turn into a real-world clash? The only thing that's certain is the tension remains thick and the story is far from finished. What's your take on this situation? Will T.I., King, and Charleston White eventually confront each other again? Or has the line already been crossed too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss what comes next. And trust, what's coming next is even more explosive. Watch the next video on your screen now.